Support is a verb. That's the word on the street. We get into this episode today. This is a pretty special episode to our heart. Just because, a lot's been going on with our family over the past week. And hopefully we get a chance to share about why support matters so much internally, but also externally. We'll get a chance just to share how we've been really loved and cared for, and how it's so essential to have that when you walk through that door in your home as well. So let's dive into it. Let's get to the episode.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Summing Up with the Sumners. I'm Katoya.
Damon.
So glad to sit here and have some conversation with you guys. If it's your first time, welcome. If not, and you know what's up, welcome back. Glad to have you rocking. Glad to have you listening. Going 2 years strong now.
Come on, 2 years in this thing.
It almost felt wrong saying. Like, it is 2 years, right?
Two.
Dang.
We
crank,
are.
Crank.
Where we at now? We're holding up our head. We walking. We eating solids now.
As a 2-year-old. Yeah, we're running and tripping, though.
Running a lot of tripping.
You're like, ha, 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 boom.
Yeah. I got that fat Tyler body. It's a good hair.
I'm healthy.
First 6 months, no thank you. That 2 to 3, you kind of wrestle a little bit.
Oh, you got a personality here.
Yeah, I like that.
That's where we are. That's very accurate. I like it. That was really good. It was off the top.
I do what I can.
So, as always, like we said, thank you. Welcome back. We're in for a treat. And, today we got a fun topic.
We do. We're talking about support. Support.
SUPPORT.
Support is a verb, you said.
Yeah, it's like a classic saying that I've seen. Yeah, it's maybe a brand. I don't know, but I loved it. I'm like, support is a verb.
Support is a verb.
And before we begin, I'd like to apologize to anyone I have not supported.
Let's just start with that. We're going to start with forgiveness.
I understand sincere apologies. I hope you are listening, and I hope that you understand that it's never my intention, but at the same time, support is something that we do.
And there's types of support.
Yeah, there is.
There's types of support. That's important to be reminded of, too.
There's
definitely type. There's we ain't going to get into all of them, but like, there's financial support. There's being there support. Low key, it's almost like a love language.
I was just going to say that. To me, I believe that support it is like a love language. Because the way that you show support generally is the way that your love language is naturally going to be.
I think so.
But the way that people, and people depend on you in that way too, right? So I've always considered myself to be an emotional support to people. Like, I'm a listener, I'm an encourager, because that's also my love language.
Sure.
But I think sometimes people need more service, more gifts, more things of that nature. And I think it's a matter of strengthening weaker areas in the time of need to see what that need may be for the person that you care about.
That's good, because especially when you're talking about being in a relationship, it's going to vary depending on the type of support and context that's needed. Right? Necessarily someone, maybe they need support in the sense of they lost a job, right, and can't find work, whereas they may have been trying to lose 25 pounds after having their first baby, right? Or like whatever, like different
and
type
all
of support comes with
is
context.
needed though. But there's sometimes you're like, man, I really need a little bit more than, or like everybody can give me emotional support right now. I actually need something else.
$50 in the cash app. That's what I need right now. Okay.
Thanks so much for the emotional support.
Thanks for the hug in the chat, but also the Venmo link.
But you know another way to love, and this like speaks real hard for us right now.
Let's dive right into it.
Yeah. Like recently, we didn't even talk about this on podcast, but we were like, oh, let's get a dog. Had a little foster situation for like 2 hours.
I feel like they heard weeks ago. I remember I was talking about because I had brought up the rabbit story and I had brought up how I felt about pets. They've heard a little bit. If you've been rocking with us for a little bit, you knew a little bit. We've been out for a few weeks, so you didn't know that. Just to recap you, because Katoya's going to get into a little bit.
Just a little bit though.
We were going to We were going to potentially try to become, look into small steps becoming a dog family, right?
It seems comical at this point.
Fostering a dog. So
we're like, oh, we got to foster a dog. We had a dog for 2 hours and we experienced the most traumatic situation of our entire family. Liv got scratched up. Ever got poked in the nose in the lip, and we were in the emergency room. 8 hours later, 30 stitches later, to our daughter's face, traumatic experience, blood everywhere, screaming, hollering, traumatic life change. And she's healing and she's okay.
We all are.
And here we are almost, a week later. So we can kind of like tell that story that quickly. Hopefully you caught it. I'm not going back really. But she's good. She's happy. She's healing it. But the crazy, like, it's like the TV show. It was the first 48 hours.
Oh, goodness.
The first 48 hours probably changed us for life.
For life. For life.
We are changed. And I just want to celebrate our daughter. She's amazing.
Can we just take a moment? All three of the kiddos in their own ways.
Yes, every last one of them.
Because we have all been impacted this last week. Be a week tomorrow. In so many different ways, emotionally, mentally, physically, et cetera, et cetera.
Heart kind of hurt there for a second.
Yeah. So no, shout out specifically.
It's pretty emotional. But we're pretty like.
Yeah,
we're progressive people.
Yeah.
I think we sat long enough. Yeah. And then we understand that there are residual moments and like triggers that will cause the emotional impacts. But ultimately, like all kids were great. Like Mission's been responsible, helpful, loving. Ever's been kind and patient and supportive and respectful. And Liv has just been the most optimistic person for an injury to occur to her face. I just really want to explain this to my daughter's beautiful face. It kills me. Kills us. But she is healing well. Stitches are doing well. Scar will be like, hopefully she has dissolvable stitches, so we'll see some, the stitches will be gone, and then we'll just treat her wound. She has no major, like, traumatic damage, so, like, her eye's intact, and she has no, like, broken bones or anything like that. So, glory be for those things, but it's just still kind of like a that was tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this is the first time you share. So we're talking about support, right? And we're it's been heavy on our hearts because we felt it so tangibly these last 7 days, man, and crazy. It's so needed. And right, you don't even have kids, no support, right? And friendships. And blood relationships, right? And then also in your, romantic, your relationships, marriage, right? And so it has been in many ways, a cornerstone to get through this week, like emotionally, financially, time, quality time. I mean, shucks, the in-laws, Katoya's parents, popped up and surprised us, drove through the night at 50, 60 years old from Texas, 12-hour trip to Atlanta, Georgia, to be here with us for a few days. And so support, as we're diving in over these next few minutes, is something that we all need, right? In its own different ways. And so we've just been encouraged. We have truly felt loved and cared for. And I think, and I'm optimistic that our kids have felt that over this past week as well. So
getting a little emotional.
This may be emotional. This may be a slightly emotional one today.
I didn't wear any makeup today.
And just want to say here, we're just probably gonna bounce around in this episode, which is fine. The relationship that Katoya and I have. This is, man, if you don't know, we've been together for 17 years, married for 14 years. And we have had our own fair share of individual and marital trauma. You know what I mean? I would bet to believe that if you've been together with somebody for 14 years, y'all have probably been through some stuff. And Katoya and I, we've been through some stuff. And this is, is what it is. It's an unfortunate, another piece of our journey. And so the support that we've shared, extended for each other, has been so necessary, has been so refreshing, has been so I don't know, just feeling like just trying to every day, like especially those first 3 days, right? And I'm gonna stop rambling in a second. I'm just saying all this to say, like, support. Not only is it a verb, that is, you put that on a good T-shirt.
There you have it.
Etsy. And so, but like it's just tangible and it's necessary for human relationships. And so, specifically as we get inwardly, we'll talk inwardly. We're also going to talk outwardly as well. But that's just, I think, anything else you want to add about the context of one of the reasons why we're bringing it up today.
Yeah.
But support matters.
That's the main thing. I mean, like I said, when I started to say, just it really made us take a moment to pause and think about who we've been to people as support, and many ways that we want to step up, you know, the relationships that mean much or little to us, and just show some type of support. Again, like if you are listening to this podcast and you supported us through prayer, through giving, through just gifts, thoughts, through emails, information, through whatever. Yeah. I mean, people have, one of my favorite support people was a girl, shout out to Sandra.
Come on.
From middle school.
Come on. What?
Me and Sandra are just Facebook friends.
What?
That's it.
You ain't talked to her in 20 years.
Maybe through likes and comments.
Goodness gracious.
And it was like, oh my goodness, let me do something for you. And I'm like, Sandra. Wow.
7th grade English.
Yeah, so crazy. But like, it's the beauty. And I'm really glad that, generally I can err on a side of pride when it comes to like asking for help. And so just like, that's kind of one area too. Is like, it's all right to say like, I was like, we welcome your texts, your love, your calls. Like it was a moment where we needed to feel surrounded, because it, I have to work to not belittle something, because the reality is it happened and it held the weight that it did in our lives. So granted, major things have happened to people, in their lives that impact them. But this was the most traumatic experience that we've had to experience as a family collectively. And so it felt big to us, and it felt even bigger to have the support. So just like, I mean, I only use Sandra because I was like, whoa, wow, someone so
out the blue.
Yeah, unexpected. Because it doesn't matter how deep the relationship goes. It just matters of thinking about what could be happening to someone and how to love them well. So in general, like we have been rambling and we've been kind of talking, but it's from the heart. And hopefully, if you didn't know this, you know this, and there's other ways that you can show for us. We don't know the journey of like if she'll have to have like, plastic surgery or anything, but anything helps us put it in the savings for anything that happens, a meal, groceries, whatever. So we received all of that, and people were really outpouring, and it just showed that we have a large community at large that love and support us. And then in return, we want to be those people for other people. So the way we came across with this episode was just wanting to share a little bit about how good support makes anyone feel.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Like, I mean,
it feels good.
It makes you feel loved and cared for. The reason I didn't even think I would marginally get as emotional as I just did, but when you think about feeling loved and cared for, it does something good to the soul. It does something good to like the trauma or the experience or the new adventure that you're about to take, right?
Yeah, very true.
It just gives you the confidence. It gives you the strength. It gives you like the will to believe in yourself or carry on a little bit more. And so it is important that we understand that in general as people, that support makes people feel good.
I don't know. I mean, if there's a short list of things I feel like that specifically in your relationship, in your marriage, that edges on your partner in the right direction more than support. Right, like it's a short list.
In whatever way.
Right, yeah, in whatever way. Like support is up there. It is what's that weird song? Not weird. Wind beneath my wings. What is that? Is that a phrase? Is that a song? I just have it stuck in my head. Anyway, but like I just see this imagery. Somebody knows. You listen. You're like, oh, I know who you're talking about. I feel like that's Celine Dion. But anyway. So I just see this imagery of like just this wind, somebody trying to fly, and like it pushes you, right? If you're in a relationship and your boo is trying to accomplish a goal and you are supporting them, if they haven't said it, I encourage you. They are hopefully encouraged and motivated and excited because you're there to support them.
Which is like holding them up, the very definition of support. I think about like a girdle, support me up, squeeze me in. So that's how we know. Like we have to think back through what support could mean to anyone that we love in any situation, whether it be new business, traumatic situation, death, loss, sadness, sick, whatever. Support is important.
It is.
And so that's just a little gleam of how we got here and why we want to talk about this today. Another kind of concept that we want to bring into the idea of support is how important it is to have support inside your home. To know that when you go home, you have support. External support is super meaningful,
Right.
which is one reason why you want to, share about whatever it is you need support into as many people, because you would be wowed, as we just have experienced, by how many people actually love and care and want to, love and support you. But then also knowing that your home is a place of safety, and knowing that in a relationship and inside your house, whether it be with your children, with your partner, that there is support for whatever is happening. Again, from the good support of like new things, new adventures, new business, blah, and then to the traumatic experience, getting fired, getting let go, losing someone, trauma, or whatever it might be, that we're creating a space that is supportive and loving inside the house.
Mandatory. Gotta have it. It's a short list. It's a short list, and support is on that list of things that help oil that relationship.
Is it short?
Support,
No.
short. Support is above sex on that list. Support is above sex on that list. You want to be in a relationship that is more supportive than sexy. I said it. I mean it, because think about it. Listen.
Well, that leads to sex.
Talk about that part.
You support me, you love me well.
Support is sexy.
Oh, snap.
Support is sexy,
I
right?
know. I was going
But
to change that up.
You're not having sex 7 days a week, but going to a house 7 days a week and don't feel supported. Oh, I wish I had 2 or 3 in here. Listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you feel it. You feel it in a relationship. Dream chasers, entrepreneurs, people who are fighting for this kind of that creative freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not even just in the art world, but just in general, right? Trying to come out on the other side of a pandemic. We know a lot has happened, right? And you're trying to make things happen. And you got a supportive partner. You got somebody who's like, yo, on the good days, they there. And on the bad days, when you don't want nobody around you trying to compliment you, they there as well. Like, support it's a short list. It's a very short list. And you got to have it if you're continuing to fine tune and just maintain a healthy relationship. Because, like I said earlier, like it's that wind. It's very cheesy, but I mean it. It's the wind beneath that wing. It just helps you move in the right direction. I think that's what's crucial. I think support is going to help the relationship continue to move in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a form of connection, right? It's a form of connection. If you want to feel more connected to your partner, then you show them support. And we have a bigger role in our relationship to one another to realize what that support should look like. So like we started out saying about, the love languages. You're going to have to step outside your own comfort.
Got to.
Maybe you have to be the provider a little bit more while your partner is struggling through a new business venture. Maybe they need the encouragement because they really need that uplifting. Maybe they need you to buy them the new equipment to get them started. Whatever it is, it's for us to realize
up,
as a partner
time.
to step it up and to figure out what our partner needs in the form of support. And the same goes for our children, to support them in their new ideas and their avenues and their interests and things of that sort, to let them know that things are possible and that in this family you support their ideas and their dreams and their hopes and their aspirations. Because if we think about that as adults today, how supportive were your parents? They could have been. They could have not been. But it does mean a lot for who you are today. Whether it pushed you in a way to say, man, I don't really believe in myself, or man, I do really believe in myself because I had such a good base, or I believe in myself because nobody ever believed in me. Every rap song in the world, right? So
every hooper. My 9th grade teacher said I never become nothing. Now I'm 6'8", 240.
I love those stories, and I love to listen to that type of music. Like when I'm down, ain't nobody gonna stop me. I got this.
It's just me. Always been just me. Always. Has it always just been you, Ricky?
I don't care, but right now, it's me.
Always just you, Ricky.
Listen, when I remember going through some real traumatic stuff, and I remember just needing like super gospel music and trap hip hop. It was like the two. Anything in between one serving. It's giving nothing.
Honey.
But those gave me everything, because there are two sides of the coin of like, man, I'm pushing, and then whoo. Please, I need all the things. So it's important to have it in our house and to show it to our partners and to demonstrate that if you're having children, to show that support in your own relationships, so your children see that, and helping them have healthy views of what partnership and support looks like amongst a spousal partner, mother, father, relationship or whatever. because we're constantly showcasing what things should look like for our children and modeling that to each other so that we constantly know what support can feel and look like in our own relationship.
Yeah. And we're all about communication on this podcast. So like maybe it'd be good for you to have a conversation after listening to this. Stop it, listen to it right now, put this on in a road trip of like, sometimes you gotta be reminded or informed because you may not know. How have you feel like you've been supported well? Like, ask your partner. Maybe they can give you some things that you've been doing great on, and then you do the same thing for them. And then maybe y'all could share, right? Take turns and be like, this is an area that I would appreciate, a little bit more support in, and have that healthy dialogue and that conversation. Because, again, those seasons are coming. They're changing. We're all people who are evolving. And so it's important to never be content and complacent in the ways that we just always do things. Like, Like, shoot, I'm about to be 36. I'm not the same 26-year-old young whippersnapper I used to be in different ways, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what the young kids are saying these days.
No one says that.
That's what they're saying on TikTok. And so,
no one says that.
And so, anywho, I'm just saying that to say because conversations need to continue to consistently happen. And so, yeah, reach out, just hit, have a little meal. Hey, how have I been supporting? You know what? You crushed it at this. You've been helping out more with the laundry. You've been doing more with this. I appreciate that. Man, it'd be dope if you could, et cetera, and then, flip it and vice versa. So
and receive that, right? That stuff is the stuff that we receive because one, you're opening up vulnerability. You're opening up growth opportunities. So, again, everyone wants to be supported.
Everybody.
Not only look at it internally, but then, like I said, me and Damon, we had a conversation. We were like, moving forward, we will support. I always try to support, but and one thing that I learned is don't ask people how, really sometimes just do.
This is big for us. This is how we feel.
I didn't know what to say, but it's no, I don't really know how, but just do something and just checking in, just sending a text, just anything is helpful. And there's many times where I didn't know what to do, but not until I sat on this side of the table in this way. And I'm like, oh no, you just do for people because they need probably everything. Anything and everything will be meaningful.
Yeah, we could give a long list, right? But you brought up Sandra.
Yeah,
as an example, Sandra. Right? I'll bring out one of the homies, Dan Duncan. Could give you 25 other names, right?
Oh, 50, 100.
Right. Yes, we could, right? We're just using 2 for the sake of time. It's a 30-minute podcast, people. Settle down.
Oh, please know that you ain't in vain.
Literally, we were right that next morning, right? Just waking up. I sent a text out to some of my closest friends. Say, hey, I'm sending you lunch. It wasn't, we didn't have this back and forth of this, how to serve it, et cetera, et cetera. And I just appreciated that helpfulness, that selflessness, that, support. And we had good old barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Just simple as that.
Lunch was served and everybody was happy. No one had to cook.
And so
it's great. And that means so much. And no shot to anybody because a text, a call, anything. And I know, and I'm just such a person who sees things dually. And I know that I have failed people in my relationships. And that's why I started out with an apology.
Oh, we failed something.
And it is very sincere. And, fortunately, and hopefully in some of those relationships that I have failed or we have failed, that there will be another time to come back around to serve and love because life throws us all kind of lemons. And so the next round of lemons that the life may serve you, I pray.
That's an alarm because we're professionals. You're listening. Listen, thank you.
That's horrible. Sorry about that. I pray to be far more present and available. And so be kind to others. Be kind to yourselves, support and love each other. And without a doubt, we 100% appreciate any and everyone's support throughout this time.
And we said it earlier, but that support doesn't just have to be on the trauma side. It can be on the happy, exciting side. So just to be clear, right? It doesn't have to just happen
100%
when things are going bad and somebody's, parents are sick or whatever. It's birth of the baby, right? Or shoot, something as little as, hey, I just got, my first car myself. I'm kind of grown now, right? Whatever the case may be. Or somebody starting a new venture. Hey, I'm doing a little pop-up shop.
Yeah.
I'm making cupcakes.
Child
Can you
doing
come,
something.
you know what I'm saying?
Anything.
Can y'all stand in line and buy 2 cupcakes so people think they should buy it too?
Absolutely.
If I can, I'm there.
I'm a like, share, post, retweet. Like, what is it? What?
Oh,
how
don't get
do
me
I
started
do
on
it?
social media support.
But I'm also it's a double-edged sword, right? So Sumners are wanting to support, and we love to receive the support, and yeah, let's just be better supporters in and outside of our relationships.
Yeah, that's really it. And last thing as we get out of here, the support for this podcast. 2 years in, I think I said it a couple weeks ago, with us doing minimal effort, we had hit our biggest listens ever. That's support. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in this phase now. You know, we're in the phase now where our friends and families who, when we first started, they fade. That's what happens. Podcast. No,
Well, they support.
they support and then they fade. That's statistically how it works.
And
if
then
they
now
fade
you're
away,
into your
so
actual
now you really
niche.
get to see
Yeah.
people who rock with you and who
Yeah.
mess with you.
Yeah.
People we know and mostly people we don't know. And so we appreciate the support of listening to us. Maybe it's your first time. Maybe you've been with us for who knows how long. But it means a lot.
Yep.
And hopefully you continue to find value and be encouraged, and at least healthy conversations with friends, with family, with your partner. Because yeah, we enjoy this, and we're gonna keep doing it till we feel good about it. So that's that.
Thank y'all.
We appreciate y'all. We'll talk soon.